Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello, friends. It is empirical wisdom that an insurgency can only be resolved through a proper political strategy. The political strategy cannot ride on the military strategy alone. The only thing worse than not having a political strategy to win the hearts and minds of the people of Jammu and Kashmir is for the security forces to be involved in violation of human rights. The Shopian encounter of 18 July is a case in point where it has been alleged that innocent laborers, 3 of them from Rajouri district, have been killed in cold blood. The operation took place in the wee hours of 18 July. It was much publicized and video interviews were given highlighting the details of the operation. It was mentioned that the security forces, on reliable information, surrounded a house in which terrorists were holed up. There was intense exchange of fire, and finally, 3 terrorists were killed without any collateral damage. The operation was executed by 62 Rashtriya Rifles, one of our most decorated units, which has been at the forefront of counter-terrorist operations in the Shopian district. However, a month later, around 9th and 10th of August, the whole operation started unraveling. An FIR was lodged in Rajouri district of 3 missing laborers. And when the photographs of those killed in the encounter on 18 July and 3 laborers were compared, it was found that they were the same people. One of the laborers was in his late teens. It also emerged that these laborers had come to work in the orchards in Shopian district. They hired a house in Chaugam village, which is close to one of the bases of 62 RR. Apparently, on the night of 18th July, they were picked up and taken 11 kilometers away to Amshipura village, where the alleged encounter took place. Weapons seem to have been planted and recovered. In my view, it was a down and right rogue action and a major setback for the initiative being taken by the Lieutenant Governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Shri Manoj Sinha, and also a blot on the sterling reputation of the Indian Army. That one of the best units of the Army was involved in such an operation should ring alarm bells. The matter deserves to be investigated in detail and taken to its logical conclusion. The Army was forced to order a court of inquiry based on the media reports and later said that it seems that the powers being exercised under the Armed Forces Special Powers Act have been exceeded. This does not inspire confidence because Armed Forces Special Powers Act only protects soldiers when they commit action or they carry out operations in good faith and operations are lawful. When the operation is unlawful, as it seems to be in this case, the Armed Forces Special Powers Act does not apply. It is also pertinent to mention that under the political governments, the J&K police used to act as a kind of a watchdog because based on Supreme Court directions, which says that all deaths in encounters must also be investigated, the police used to investigate the matter, and if there was any wrongdoing, it was pointed out to the army, and necessary action was taken. In this case, the police seems to have become complicit. In the briefings, it was mentioned that the CRPF and the police did not initially take part in the operation, but joined later on. It is my assessment that in this operation, the police and the CRPF did not take part, and they only joined the operation, if at all, after it was all over, and they became complicit in the cover up in order to also get laurels. It would be prudent for the Lieutenant Governor to ensure that the police always does an independent inquiry and points out if there's any wrongdoing, and the army can then proceed to take necessary action, apart from the army's own investigations. It is also relevant that whenever an operation takes place, a post-mortem is carried out at the unit level to learn lessons and at the formation level to assess whether any wrongdoing has taken place, any violation of human rights has taken place, or have there been any judgment of error that requires remedial action. All commanders, brigade commanders and above, are very seasoned and experienced, and based on the circumstances of the case, can easily assess that whether it is a clean operation, whether it's a rogue operation, or whether any judgment of error has taken place. In this particular case, rather than point out this particular that the operation was dubious in nature, and the circumstances indicated that it was not a clean operation, the hierarchy seems to have also become complicit to highlight the fact that in their formations an excellent encounter has taken place. It is very important that the army takes this case to its logical conclusion. It has been our experience in the past that due to procedural errors during the court-martial, at times the accused tend to get away when the court-martial is put under scrutiny at the Armed Forces Tribunal and the Supreme Court. A case in point is the Machal case, which is very similar to the Shopian encounter, where also 3 laborers were taken all the way to the line of control, and an encounter was staged. Very severe punishment was awarded to the commanding officer and 4 or 5 more soldiers of the concerned unit. However, in the Armed Forces Tribunal, the sentence was suspended because of procedural errors, because court-martial not having highlighted the actual circumstances of the case. The matter is pending in the Supreme Court. Also, we have the experience of the Dangari killings, which had taken place decades ago, and about which I have written an article in the print. By design or default, procedural errors have been built into the court-martial that despite life sentence having been awarded to the accused, they are likely to be acquitted in the Armed Forces Tribunal and the Supreme Court, or the Supreme Court. Despite this sordid encounter that seems to have taken place, there's a silver lining. I think Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha has definitely taken a political initiative in Jammu and Kashmir. He has reached out to the people. In this particular case, he drove 6 hours to Rajouri district, Tankasi village, and then walked 4 kilometers to speak to the families and assure them that justice would be done. This is the first time a lieutenant governor has done that. And in another first, the Prime Minister, through the lieutenant governor, personally conveyed his message to the families that justice would be done and they would be taken care of. Let this case be the beginning of the political initiative in Jammu and Kashmir. It's a litmus test for the lieutenant governor as well as for the armed forces. If justice is done and seen to be done, it'll go a long way in winning the hearts and minds of the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Enjoy reading the column.